Be scary.
Welcome to the pregame show.
How y'all doing?
Good evening.
Tuesday again, in case
Welcome
anybody was
back.
wondering.
This is just the pregame show. This is where we welcome everyone that is just now signing on. Believe it or not, we were early tonight. How about that?
First time for everything.
That was pretty cool. Felt good.
That's what happens on a good rainy day.
I tell you what, prepared.
You know, speaking of rainy days, Billy, didn't I make a comment about 2 weeks ago about a pre-scallop project?
Yeah.
And what are we working on now? A pre-scallop project for Gary's boat.
Technically, yeah, first of all, John, work on that project first.
And he's not wrong.
Thankfully, we've got our friends over there at Florida T-Tops.
Yeah.
That's going to be getting it done. That's the project that John's talking about. He didn't have his mic on, or you would have known what he was talking about.
It's on now. But
For y'all's
so
safety. it
for
was
y'all's
better.
information,
Oh.
every year, right before scallop season, Gary comes up with a project. It could be shrimp tanks, it could be boat projects, it could be anything, but Gary
be painting
comes
the
up
whole
with
building.
a serious project.
That's not a serious project, though. Like, I think it's so...
I'm
knock
happy.
on wood, first of all.
I'm happy that it's a serious enough project. All I have to do is just install it.
Yeah.
I don't have to build it.
You got to design it, too.
Oh, there's that.
Again, this is just the pregame show. We are getting started to actually talk about some fishing and stuff, but right now we're just BSing along. Let us know if you are tuned in. Say hi, hello, how are you? Captain John's over there on the hot mic. So if you have any questions or comments, concerns, actually no concerns.
We got a pretty face on the casting couch tonight.
Beautiful Amish face.
Yeah.
I tell you what. Now you've got family in Pennsylvania, right?
Not anymore.
Not anymore, but you did.
Yes.
See, that's what I'm saying. Him and Matt are Amish.
Yeah.
Almost positive.
It's the way they grow their beards.
We can't hear you. You and John got to turn your mics
Bree,
on.
you gotta turn your mic on.
Well, nobody should be on the couch.
Not yet. Not yet. This is just a pregame
It's a
show. Let's save that for
surprise.
the actual show.
It's a surprise.
It is a surprise. It's a beautiful
I'm already
voice,
blushing.
though. I mean, I'm good to get started. I can get started.
think I'm ready whenever y'all are.
All right.
Sit tight, guys. I'm having technical difficulties.
Hey, we are matching. There. Oh. Well,
Close but not cigar.
yeah. That's my best friend.
I have no video.
All right.
As soon as the old hot mic figures it out, we'll get her going.
It said the live feed stopped. Oh, there it is. Okay, we're good now.
Found it.
John.
Trying to teach them old dogs new tricks, you know.
Internet.
I'm here, ain't I?
Internet.
Internet, John.
All right, we'll be right back.
You're going to be on
It's
the
the
line.
moment when everything is on the line and precision, power, and control make all the difference. A moment over 20 years in the making, anchored on loyalty, trust, and support that goes beyond all expectations. A relentless pursuit of perfection. All born from a revolutionary idea to help you rule the water. Power Pole.
Welcome to
Fish Talk Live.
Presented by
Us.
us and Power Pole. I tell you what, man, using that Power Pole in the last tournament,
It's moving.
it is the making the move right there. So since our Facebook post that we put out about how it, really truly has increased our tournament game, I know two of the people that purchased it because of that, and I mean, the messages that they sent were
Satisfactory.
yeah, absolutely. So everything we talk about here is stuff that we actually believe in, and that is definitely one of them. So Billy, tonight we are talking about Triple Tail
And Cobia?
and Cobia.
Woohoo.
Two targets that you can go out and target
Yeah.
at the same time.
One way to do it.
And that being said, we have the Triple Tail God himself, Captain Jacob Imhoff from Ozello Fish Company. There he is. Say hi. So this has been about 3.5 years in the making,
Every bit of it.
trying to get Jacob on the casting couch,
Yeah.
on this casting couch.
You have no idea how much makeup it takes for him not to blush.
I'm there.
He did request that we turn the air down to 60 degrees for sweating reasons. But I tell you what, he got dressed, I think, at like 7:30 this morning, got it all ready, put his makeup on. He's excited. And we're excited to have you here, Jacob.
Absolutely.
So again, Fish Talk Live, talking about Triple Tail and Cobia tonight. Billy, are those, just curious, let's go ahead and jump into the airboat fishing
Oh,
report.
all right. Yeah.
But now, not talking about this year, but previous years, are Triple Tail and Cobia two things that you ever see on the airboat? I know you really stick to inshore and the flats, but do you get to see?
Absolutely have. Yeah, finding the triple tail. I have seen those coming out of some of our major rivers, playing towards Homosassa areas. I do work my way back north up to Ozello and all. This time of the year, a lot of the blue crabbers, in past years, a lot of blue crabbers have moved their traps out towards the mouths of the rivers. And absolutely, you can find them pushing off some of the buoys, some of the pilings off the Homosassa River, or, well, even the bird sanctuary that runs out there. You can find them out there. They like their structure, and they don't move very much, which is pretty cool.
So what do they look like as you're passing by at 30 miles an hour?
So at 30, it's almost like seeing a dark brown dinner plate sitting there at the surface, maybe about 6 inches under. And it all depends. Some of them are small. You can find them about 10, 12 inches. And only one good one that I have seen that seemed to be pushing that 18 to 20 inch mark. And that one was a lot more skittish than the little guys were.
He's smarter.
Yeah, you don't get big by being stupid.
That's it. But what about? Okay. What about Cobia?
Cobia is a little more on the rare site for me, playing on the inshore side. The times that I have seen them seem to be a good, strong west wind mixed with a good high tide. There's been times where I'll go play into some of the deeper water to do my drift, trying to find sea turtles and stuff like that. Getting west side of the Keys, it's small numbers that I have found, but they are out there. They'll push in with those big high tides and the west winds as they all shove in. It's pretty cool. Fast moving fish.
I know when the big shark, really start to show up out there by Berkey, and I feel like I've seen so many cobia at Berkey. I've never gotten one to eat there.
Yeah, but just the visual of them is always exciting.
Yeah, and they're following the shark. When we were down in Pine Island, I don't even know, 2 Fridays ago, there was one of the biggest stingrays that I've seen to date in the shallow waters, and there was I'd say a 30-inch to the fork cobia just tailing that stingray.
Cool. Just trailing right behind.
So I'd say anything that's large like that, the stingray, the shark, manatee.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You'll see those cobia following those manatee.
Yep, they'll be about 5 to 8 feet behind it, just slowly cruising the same pace. It's pretty cool.
Well, we'll get with Captain Jacob here in a little bit about some tackle techniques and some different rigging stuff and how to really go and target those two species specifically. So, Billy, what else are you seeing on the airboat right now?
Playing on the airboat, we are seeing some good numbers of redfish out there. Good mix of them are still playing in like the Fish Creek Bay area and mouths of some of our rivers that I can still see the bottom on. Pushing out into the reef. There's been a good handful of reds. Did see a few trout out there the other day, which was always a nice sight to see. Most of them have pushed off to like 6 to 8 feet of water from what I've understood. But there's still handfuls of them out there. As you're traveling between the islands, it doesn't hurt to pull a drift.
Yeah.
Start jigging and see if you can get yourself a good one. They seem to be decent size for the ones I'm seeing.
Nice.
A lot of sheep's head out there too.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, and they're not even on structure. A lot of them are out in the grass flat. It's pretty cool to see.
Flats. Well, I know. Right now, like we're finally past that transitional period that we've been talking about. The fishing's getting hot. The redfish are everywhere.
Yeah.
Trout. They're doing their trout thing. Not exactly sure what it is, but
trouting it up.
They're doing it. The shallow water grouper are off the chain right now.
They are on the move.
They are. And same thing with them too. You'll find those guys just out in the flats cruising around trying to find their new home. So
absolutely do.
Well, cool. Well, I tell you what. Let's stop talking about fishing for a minute and let's see some fishing.
Ooh, I hope you guys sent some pictures in.
Extreme Decalz Catch of the Week. Let's see who submitted some photos. Don't forget, each week, submit those photos on the post that we do.
Mr. Curtis, too big.
Hey,
there's a catch right there.
I tell you what, the determination in that kid's spirit leading up to that is what got him that first place 3 years in a row now. Could not be more proud of my guy.
Very nice, Elizabeth.
Yeah, huge bass.
I always enjoy people playing on the freshwater side. That must have been last year's catch.
Try last week's.
What was that, 32 inch you said?
31.
30.
Ah, dang it.
On 3K.
How deep were you?
About 5 foot.
Very nice.
See, that's how you could tell those grouper are on the move. Little narrow, but look how bright that grouper is.
Getting into the shallow, clean waters and on the run, getting skinny.
So, good catch. James with a nice snook.
Very nice. Very nice. Now, that's a behemoth of a bass.
Huge.
I bet that felt good. There you go, Jessica.
Nice redfish. Miss Vicky is making some big steaks right now.
Ooh,
just in case you're all wondering.
And you are not in Florida. Very nice, Justin. Getting out there with his boys.
Justin, Greenleaf Charters.
He's out there right now playing in the micro tournament.
Yeah, the micro draft tournament.
Actually, Eric.
Very nice.
What's that?
So that's actually
some good fish playing in those backwaters.
Oh,
there's a big old smile. Holy
look at that
smokes.
guy.
Happy youngin' there. Love to see that. Dang, big old red.
Logan, get on those big old reds. It's a
That's a
Marios.
pretty red. That island looks familiar, Mario.
I know exactly where he caught that one.
He does well playing out there in the reef. Good looking reds.
Captain Mario on the redfish.
Mario
Hey,
himself.
there he is.
He actually put a rod in his own hand for a change. Very nice.
Yes, that is his last name. Yeah. So Mike, I tell you what, that guy was so much fun to have on the boat. 2 days in a row. We did a lot of grouper action and moving around. You can see how close we were. The islands are right there in the background.
I love those fish are out there in our flats. Very nice, Mr. Cruz. Good looking little snook. A lot of good snook caught this week.
Yeah. Well, they know the season's over.
Yeah.
They're going to start eating.
Nice. Good for y'all, Travis. That one looks a little bigger. Holy smokes.
Yeah. Good looking color to that
nice.
fish, too.
Double header.
Captain Travis on the reds.
He's on fire. I love to see you all throwing these photos up for us. I appreciate that.
Seriously, guys. So make sure you submit those each week. As soon as you see the post come out Tuesday morning, just comment those photos on the post and check out the Extreme Decalz Catch of the Week. And be sure to check out Extreme Decalz themselves.
Oh, yeah. Stream foam decking on top of it.
Cool. Well, let's talk about Triple Tail with Captain Jacob Imhoff from Ozello Fish Company. Captain Jacob, thank you for joining us today. Are you super excited or what?
I still look Chinese.
Amishies.
Yeah.
All right, Jacob. So we're specifically talking Triple Tail, but before we do that, let's kind of go over what's happening. You know, you're out in the water almost every day. You know, if you don't have a charter, you're out there scouting, you're out there looking for your next charter. You really and truly stay on top of it. So what's going on right now? I mean, have you been finding any trout? You know, what's the redfish details? What are they eating? Kind of give us a rundown.
So the redfish have been stacking up on a variety of islands, mainly the outer islands. The trout have been moving out to about 5-6 foot-ish. You want to look for the sandy, rocky-ish bottom.
Okay.
And the triple tail this year have been a hit or a miss.
Yep.
You find them here, you find them there. But last year, it was
I was going to say, let's talk.
Last year was nuts.
I think all species, except tarpon for whatever reason.
And
but-
snook too.
Yeah.
As soon as season ended, yesterday I caught 4 keepers on shrimp.
Tell you, the snooker smart.
They knew.
Yeah, they know. Absolutely. Now let's backtrack a little bit. Last year, that was your biggest triple tail you got to date, right? What was
Yep.
it, 18 pounds or something?
It was 19 something.
That thing was huge.
It was pretty big.
And you found him inshore.
It was like 3.5 foot of water.
So, you know, they're triple tail, just not deep water fish. A lot of people bypass all the structure that can hold those triple tail going out to look for triple tail. Stone crab buoys are getting put out right now.
Yep.
Was the season open?
No,
it
season just ended.
Season
so they're
just
pulling
ended.
them
They're
out.
pulling
So
them out.
they'll
Yeah.
start heading in.
So that's where those triple tail are looking for structure.
Yep.
You know, looking for something on the water. The pilings, the buoys. You know, Billy was talking about that state pole line runs down to Chaz. You know, if you want to burn some fuel, you just run that pole line. What did you say earlier? What they look like on the surface?
They look like an old dirty dish plate.
They do too, some of them.
So let's say you're running that pole line, Jacob, and there's that triple tail.
There's
Look
that
at
dirty
thing.
dish plate.
Golly.
So I actually freaked out in front of a bunch of people, and they got pretty mad at me.
Well, I mean, a fish like that, I do not blame you. I tell you what, that thing is huge. Probably one of the better tasting fish, too.
It is too. I felt bad for keeping that one, honestly. I should have let it go, but
Yeah.
I wanted to see what it weighed.
I remember how excited you were bringing that in. All right, so you're running the pole line, Jacob. You spot one of those dirty dish plates. You know, what's your approach to it? Do you approach it fast, slow? You know, are you strategic, or do you just want to get to it?
So as long as you're running by it, keep going, and then you'll turn around. I usually use the trolling motor and sneak up to them.
Okay.
I'll stay like 30, 40 feet away and cast a shrimp, pinfish, whatever you have, they'll pretty much eat.
So, I mean, my experience with them is, you know, like you said, you're running on plane, but you don't want to drop down right away.
They'll spook.
They'll spook, exactly.
They'll go down or...
Yeah, and they're not going to leave far. If they're
Nope.
not spooked, they're going to stick there. Even if they do dip down, they come right back up.
That 19-pounder, I spooked him, he went down, and I sat there with the troll motor on spot lock for about 10 minutes, didn't think he was going to come back. About 20 minutes goes by, pops right back up.
Really?
Yep.
And we'll talk about the tackle that you prefer to use on them at the Nature Coast Financial Advisors Tackle Table Talk here shortly with you and Billy. But you know, when you're approaching those fish, now, do you ever stop somewhere and just fish for triple tail, or do you only sight them first?
I like to sight fish them.
Yeah.
Because if you stop and fish one spot and there's no triple tail there, you're just going to lose bait.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. And what is your preferred live bait?
It would either be a shrimp or a pinfish.
And you were talking about like a cool technique to use when you're using the pinfish. Let's talk a little bit about that.
I would take the pinfish, hook them through the mouth, and cut the tail completely off so they can't swim.
Okay.
That way it just drifts with the current.
So let them flutter at the
Yep.
surface. I like it. I like that a lot. And so when...
I do like dirty water.
Really?
The triple tail love the dirty water.
How big of a pinfish are you using for triple tails? I know they
It's
have
got
a
to be
fairly
the
small mouth.
smallest ones you can't cast for redfish, anything like that.
Nice.
What was I confused the sign language there?
I couldn't hear Billy on that.
Oh, gotcha. All right. So if you were going to go out tomorrow and, you know, go try to target triple tail, what's your game plan? You know, how are you approaching it? Is there a difference in the time of day, or is it just kind of whenever?
As long as the tide's moving and there's structure, like the Chaz poles, the Homosassa buoys, stuff like that. It doesn't matter about the time of the day, anything. Dirty water is my go-to, though.
I feel like with triple tail, that's really the sport and the game for the impatient fisherman like myself. You know, you're just on the move. You're covering structure, you're covering different stuff, and who knows what else you can find out there. Like
I have found them
cobia.
on rock piles, too.
Really?
And shore rock piles, they're small, but still there'll be 10, 20 of them stacked around one little rock pile. Never seen anything like it, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome right there. Well, and I mean, any other tips for, you know, again, let's save the tackle stuff for the table, but any other tips, you know, if somebody wanted to go out and try to find some triple tail, you know, we're go run structure?
Any structure.
I like it.
So I caught my personal best with clients under a map of Homosassa.
Really?
I did.
That's a sign.
A floating map of Homosassa.
Yeah.
So Jacob, if I want
Go triple tail fishing with you, like tomorrow. How would I get a hold of you?
Give me a ring.
And what's your number?
352-436-3924.
OzelloFishCompany.com.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. And make sure to follow that social media too, because
Look at that.
huge. I mean, it was ridiculous. And you weighed him on the certified scale too. How long did it take you to get that fish in?
About 15 minutes, but I was playing it nice and safe and
Yeah.
easy.
What kind of depth were you playing in there?
That was like 3.5 foot.
I was gonna say
Shallow.
you can see
Yep.
one of the keys
Yeah,
just right
we
behind
don't
it.
talk about that one.
So
Are they-
coming
are
back
they
to what
good
you said
fighting
earlier,
fish?
So the big one was more of like reeling in a brick. The little ones will peel drag and I think the little ones are more fun than the big ones. If you want me to be 100% completely honest.
Sure.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Heck yeah.
Well, good deal. Well, let's get to the table and talk about, the pound line you're using, the leader size. Those things will tear someone up with those sharp teeth. So you really want to be careful with them. But I am curious to see what kind of fluoro you're using and the hooks, free lining, corks, whatever it is. So let's hit a commercial break, and when we come back, you and Billy are going to kind of dig into that a little bit. So Jacob, again, thank you for joining us on the Ayinde Matthews State Farm Casting Couch, and we will be right back.
See why I was born ready. I was born ready.
Welcome to Tackle Table Talk, presented by Nature Coast Financial Advisors. I'm here with Capt Jacob Imhoff with Ozello Fish Company.
How did you say that?
I don't know. Imhoff? Imhoff?
I hate to interrupt, but I actually got a good question.
Imhoff.
If it's
Imhoff.
choppy out, will they eat?
Absolutely.
Imhoff.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say when it's calm, it's easier to see them, but it's
Yep.
easier for them to see you too.
I like the choppy water, especially for triple tail.
Oh, there you go, Stacy.
I agree. So Stacy, we got a challenge for you. We want to see a Stacy triple tail photo on Catch of the Week soon.
Absolutely do.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
All right, Billy, take it away.
So going on with the triple tail aspect, what size leader are you using, line, and your tackle setup in general?
20-pound fluoro,
2020.
and I love my Gamakatsu
That's a
or
short.
owners.
Yeah.
But I'll use the smallers, and I will hook the pinfish right in the mouth, just like I said, the lips, and I'll cut the tail off, or I will horn hook the shrimp right in the head and just free line it.
Let them float to it.
Yep.
Now, do you prefer the circle hooks over
this
J
is
hook?
a octopus.
Okay, so like the inline.
I like the octopus more than the circle for triple tail.
Okay, gotcha.
Are you able to set it with that, or is it still just a
You
real
can set
aspect?
it, but don't
don't largemouth bass
yeah.
it. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And then these right here, the kicker crabs.
That's a pretty good looking bait right
All-time
there.
favorite. Just free line that, nose hooked with a 2-aught hook. They will tear it up
I like the look of that little lure.
with a little bit of
Secret sauce.
The secret
Secret
sauce to
sauce.
make it more crabby.
The blue crab secret sauce. Do you do any of your triple tail fishing under a floating cork, or are you like swivels or anything of that nature? Is it line to line as simple as it can
If you
get?
want to be honest, they will go after just the cork themselves.
Oh, jeez. So you
Tie a
need-
hook on the
Anything,
bottom.
Yeah.
Yes, anything underneath of this, they will eat.
Nice.
They will try to eat the cork themselves.
So they're pretty aggressive.
Yep,
It's a fish I have not chased outside of on the airboat.
they are my favorite.
I'd say just try to prevent having any weight, dropping it too fast.
Yes,
You'll
you don't
see
want-
them try to catch up
if
to
it
it, but
sinks, they'll come back up and quit
Yeah.
chasing it.
so something
Lazy
you just
but
float
aggressive.
out
Freeze
to
line
it.
is definitely the way to go then.
Yes.
Yeah.
You want to free line everything.
Yeah, have it be as natural as possible. I like it. I like it.
If they don't eat it in the first 2-3 minutes, it's done. They won't eat it.
So that's where you just get the gaff and
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, with the artificial, with the crabs, I mean, are you actually working that, or are you just free lining it back to them?
So you can kind of like bump it once or twice to get their attention, and they'll.
Just swoosh over to it.
switch with a steady retrieve.
Gotcha.
How about it?
All right. Well, I mean, how much lead are you tying on? Like what?
I like about 3 foot.
Okay.
Good arm
solid
length.
2-3 foot. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah,
Are you doing a tight knot or like a loop knot to that?
I love loop knots.
Loop.
Yep.
Give it that free
Especially
play.
with the kicker crabs.
Yeah. I can see that. I can definitely see that.
Yeah, hold that quick kick crab up there. I mean, that's a good-looking bait. John made a comment earlier about how it was missing a claw, but think about a lot of the natural like past crabs
They
and
all
stuff.
swim.
Yeah, they all
one.
swim, exactly.
Yep, one tucked, one out.
So that's a really cool bait, especially when you pair it up with one of those Texas eyes and
That and those Z-Mans, they got a stretch to them.
yeah.
They do have a stretch. You happen to bite a hold of that claw, it's going to go about 8 inches before it snaps back.
I mean, I would eat it.
Jacob, you have perfectly groomed fingernails.
I just cut them today.
And that was a really nice shot of that bait from Bree back here.
All right, so let's move. We haven't really talked about cobia too much.
What do you know about cobia, Jacob?
Honestly, not much. I had my history with them, a hit and miss. You know.
We were talking earlier. Cobia are one of those fish that you don't specifically go out and target.
You'll do your best cobia fishing while fishing for trout and trout and grouper.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, drifting, you got to be patient. I've only got a handful of spots that I feel comfortable bringing somebody out to as a cobia charter.
Good solid structure on the bottom, something with a good high-rise structure. Brings a lot of your smaller fish species in. The cobia tend to push right in with them.
Yeah, exactly. Something.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, cobia will get into ledges just like grouper too. Mm-hmm. I mean, so if you pull up on a spot and there's no cobia visual, you fish it just like you'd fish with grouper. I always have my clients start with a free line first, where it's not going to get to the bottom because they're usually up in the middle of the water column, circling around above that structure. And before I leave any spot, grouper fishing, if I've got a feeling or if I've seen cobia there in the past or hooked up to one, I'll always throw, one of these Maddox swim baits, and I throw it around left, right. I always float a live pinfish just 2-3 feet under the surface, under the biggest cork I can find behind, and then chum.
Oh yeah,
Lots of chumming.
Lots of chum, yeah.
It takes a lot of chumming.
We've got the cobia tournament coming up. It's really one of those things that you're either going to fish them like you fish triple tail, where you're just on the run, moving around. You never know where you could find a cobia. It could be just random in the flats. It could be 30, 40 miles offshore. It could be on a rock pile, ledge, a cave system, whatever it may be.
like you and I experienced in the past, even in running and gunning like that, and you find them at the surface and they spook you. Calm the boat down and work your way back to it, and that fish will turn around and eat again.
Oh, absolutely.
They're not spooked for the next 10 minutes. They'll turn around and eat as soon as something looks good.
Yeah, and another thing is too. I don't know if you've ever noticed this before, but when you're out there grouper fishing, snapper fishing, offshore sheep's head, or whatever it may be, and you throw the fish back in or you're reeling that fish up, is usually when you see your first cobia. They like commotion. So I always tell all my clients right when we're ready to leave a spot, make as much noise as they want. Stomp on the bottom of the boat. I like taking the net or the gaff and swooshing it around in the water, or taking the chum bag and slapping it on the water. And then kind of just waiting, having my clients hold their rods, get ready. And I've had it happen many times where all of a sudden cobia comes up, hey, what's going on here? What's happening?
Yeah, what was that noise all about?
They're about the dumbest fish alive. They really are.
They also do like a lot of floating structure too.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Same thing. Yeah, exactly. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Absolutely. A lot of people end up going out to the scallop rack, bird rack area out like that, and they produce a lot of cobia playing out there.
Weather Channel buoy too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Weather Channel buoy and the St. Martin's Reef Tower, down off Bayport area.
Straight
Jazz.
southwest area, yep.
Yep. So, bird rack. Hell, my biggest cobia to date was off of the scallop platform.
Yeah. How old were you for that? 13, 14?
Yeah, 14 or 13.
I know Dad was pissed.
He was super pissed.
Mine was actually straight out of St. Martin's in the middle of all the scallopers.
Really?
Yep,
That's
it was
awesome.
39 inches. I was like 13, 14.
I know this time of the year, if I have a redfish charter or inshore charter, I am not leaving without a good-sized rod, rigged up, free line,
Just in
5-0
case.
circle. And, the biggest thing I could say is something that's going to save you a lot of heartache is if you are specifically fishing for cobia, then loosen that drag up.
Yep.
Let it run.
Loosen that drag because they have such soft mouths and they're super fierce too. I mean, they can take a turn like a shark can. So loosen that drag up, let them wear themselves out. Even after you loosen that gaff, also always carry a good gaff. That's why I really like the small one that Bubba makes. Fits in all my different compartments I have on the boat. But after you gaff that fish, do not pull that thing into the boat right away.
It'll break your rod holders, your rods, your shins.
Yeah.
That fish will fight until it has no fight left.
Not to mention the spikes on the top back.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, gaff it, let it bleed out. And plus, with it swashing around in the water.
It may draw more in.
Exactly. So just a couple little cobia techniques there. And back to the gaff thing. With the size limit increasing, was it 35 to the fork now, I believe?
Somewhere up there.
36 to the
yeah.
fork. It's to the fork of the tail. Don't forget that too. I've
the
seen a
tip.
lot of tickets, get produced because it's got to hit 36 right here, not to the tip of the tail like a redfish, but to the fork of the tail. If you're not confident that thing is an absolute pig and well over 40 inches to the fork, use a net. Try not to hurt that fish if you can't keep it. So, make damn sure, and you'll know too. I mean, you can just see like the whole girth of the fish. Everything changes about it once it becomes a legal fish. So,
Yeah, especially when it hits that 40.
pretty
Girthy.
Procure. We can talk about the taste of Procure if you want.
You want me to taste it?
So
I think they yelled at
I think
us and
somebody
told
has a
us not
question. Is
to.
what flavor Procure is that?
It is blue crab.
There it is.
My favorite.
So it smells a little bit like
Everything
Old
eats a
Bay.
Blue crab.
No, just kidding.
You want to smell it?
What other type of Bree wants to know what other type of fish would you use the blue crab scented Procure for besides just cobia or
Pretty much.
triple tail?
Everything eats a blue crab. Trout, redfish.
Everything in the
snook,
drum family.
yeah, drum, black drum.
Billy.
Yep. As long as it's Old Bay.
Pretty much everything that swims eats a blue crab.
That Procure stuff. It's
And if you put it in the right spot, like the bottom, how there's a slit.
I like
in
that
this
they have
crab,
that ready for them.
Yeah.
If you put them in there, it'll stay in there for quite some time.
That's some nasty stuff to get on your fingers.
Oh,
Yep, it's a good product.
You know what's something, this really doesn't have anything to do with cobia or triple tail, but it's something I've been meaning to bring up several shows now, is the slit that's on almost all of your soft plastics.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone seems to think that is meant to run the tip of the hook through. That is not correct. I don't know if you guys know that, but that is actually meant for the action of the lure.
Yep, it actually changes their, what is it? Aquadyn? No.
Yeah.
Hydrodynamic?
Yeah, that.
Yeah, that one.
That one. Well, but now there's different type of hooks that you can run in, like the weedless style hooks, but the actual belly of the bait, you'll see, it looks like it should be facing up, but wherever it has a slit is always the belly of the bait, the soft plastic. Put Procure in there, but if you're using just a standard like Jim's jig or any type of jig head, that tip of the hook is meant to go out the top of the back,
Correct.
not the belly. And I've just noticed that so many times, checking out people's equipment on their boat and everything else,
You
and
end
I
up
see
with
it
an
hooked
upside
up
down
that
piece
way.
of plastic on there.
And you'll
Yeah.
be surprised how more natural that bait is going to flow through the water if you hook it correctly.
That is
So-
a fact.
Hey, Billy, what size hooks are we using for cobia?
So on the cobia side, I'd recommend a 5 or bigger. You're going to want something 5/0, something with some girth to it, because that fish will have a heck of a pull to it. These ones here, we just have the mustads. It's a 5.0 hook. Great Demon Perfect. It's on the circle side, so it makes it nice and easy on just retrieving. That fish will pretty well set itself when using pinfish or anything of that natural state.
So technically, while we're fishing for shallow water grouper on rock piles, we could be fishing for cobia at the same time.
Absolutely can. Absolutely. And there's been a lot of cobia that have been caught right off the bottom, just like you would be going for grouper. Cobia are not afraid to go to the bottom and pull your bait off the bottom. A lot of people think that it has to be floating per se. Just most of your traveling cobia will be at the top, playing up the surface to mid-water column. So a lot of people that'll float them out there on balloons or something, they're looking for that traveling cobia, not so much structured.
It's kind of interesting you say that and how I made that comment on purpose. Because when I went grouper fishing a couple weeks ago and I caught that cobia, I didn't catch it on the bottom. I caught it on the retrieve.
Pulling it in.
While I was bringing my bait back to the boat, I was in no hurry. You know, it was just a chill day. So I was slowly retrieving my bait to recast it, you know, find a different spot on that rock. I ended up catching that 31-inch cobia.
That's always exciting when you catch a species that was unintended for.
Well, cobia, they like, right back to the beginning of this, you know, they like the attention. They like the stuff that's going to excite them. They are very, very, very dumb fish. So it's like
dumb and aggressive.
Reversed of how you fish for redfish. You want to be loud on the bottom of that boat. You want to get them to come up to the top. You want to super fast retrieve. And then, you know, I've seen it too many times where somebody's reeling a pinfish in, like John was saying, real fast to get to switch it out or whatever, and a cobia follows it, and then they just let it sit. And then the cobia's like, I don't want that thing.
Pulls a 180 and slowly swims away.
Do you remember, Billy, when we were spearfishing in that spring? And we dove down into the spring, and then the cobia came out.
Yeah,
and
they
it scared
blew out.
the procure out of us. That was not crab procure there.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not joking. I've seen them where cobia are literally inside of ledges.
Yeah, down in the holes.
Exactly. Yeah, and they'll come out just like grouper will.
Yep, they stay on the move. They'll dip in and out of all that structure. It's pretty wild.
That's
and
it.
to see the size of them going in and out of there, some big fish.
All right.
Big old wide head.
Well, Jacob, you got anything else on cobia or triple tail that you would like to put out there?
Not much. Billy pretty much covered the cobia.
Or
I
life
have
in
one
general?
more question for my personal knowledge. Are cobia pelagic? Meaning, do they travel or are they here all year round?
I'm pretty sure they do travel.
Yeah, they migrate like
down the
mofos.
coast.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why certain times of the year we get tons of them, and then you'll see one or two here and there.
And is it the same for triple tail? Like, where
Yes.
did triple tail go? We know trout
So-
come in during the wintertime and then move out during the summer.
Triple tail usually, as soon as it starts heating up, like March, April-ish, is when I find the biggest schools of them. And then next thing you know, they're all gone. I don't know if they move in or further north. I don't know what they do.
I gotta say though, like I've been out with a few friends at nighttime bow fishing, and it was pretty awesome the amount of triple tail we saw way back in the creeks. Places I never expected to see triple tail. I mean, the creeks themselves are only maybe 2 boats width, have a good steady flow to them, and we found handfuls of them back there. It was not where I'm used to seeing them on my airboat. You know, playing out there in the flats, along the buoys and pole lines. These ones were tucked back in the mangrove, so you really never know where you're going to find them. So keep an eye out for when you are technically red fishing per se. You may find those triple tail push back into the backwaters.
I have seen some in Fish Creek, but they were yellow.
Yeah, they do tend to take on a little bit lighter of a color. The ones that I saw were kind of the same way. They were almost like a mustard colored.
It depends on the water clarity and what's below them, all that fancy stuff.
Well, remember last year, you and I saw what appeared to be the same triple tail in Greenleaf Bay.
That is correct, yes.
Remember that?
Yep.
And then we went back with a rod and couldn't find it.
Couldn't find it. Yeah, so that was that's something to think about when you are playing for redfish and all. You know, may not hurt to have a light tackled rod ready for a free line shrimp or pin.
About the one by Hangover.
Yeah?
You yelled at me for that one.
That's right.
We're
yelled at me for
we're
that one.
red fishing the Florida redfish.
Oh yeah,
series.
last
And he yelled at me for trying to catch a triple tail instead of a redfish.
Wrong species, Jacob.
That's all right. You were the perfect guy to bring in for the Triple Tail episode. So, all right.
That's awesome.
Perfect. Well, I tell you what, unless you guys have anything else on Triple Tail or Cobia, I'd say let's go ahead and ask tonight's secret question
Uh-oh.
for a giveaway. But first, Billy, throw me that Bajío mug there, please.
All right.
All right. And some of those Maddox baits. Not my Bubba Gaff. And one more Maddox
One more
baits.
Maddox?
Yeah. And the pack of jig heads from
Oh,
Maddox.
I guess those.
All
come in
right.
handy
So
with the
tonight's
Maddox.
giveaway, we're going to be doing these Maddox, what are these, 1.5 ounce jig heads.
That's a grouper special and or Cobia special.
Absolutely.
All depends on how you wiggle the worm.
Or, I mean, down in St. Pete, Tampa, Clearwater, they fish
Play
off
the
of the
tarpon
bridges
sign.
for tarpon, snook, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite colors, these white colors, I tell you what, it's just perfect for our clean, clear water here. But if you're playing in the murkier water, you got that midnight purple going from Maddox. So we got that Maddox kit. We got a power pole buff, and then a Bajío tequila mug right there that we're going to be giving away. So
Depends on what
tonight's
time of the
secret
day.
question
How do I enter?
is,
Gary, we already have a winner.
we already have the winner?
Yep, his name is John.
I want the mug.
Right, it's a pretty sweet mug,
It
too.
is, too.
All right, tonight's secret question is, what is the minimum length of a triple tail that you can keep legally in the Gulf?
Can I answer
What
this?
is the minimum length of a triple
snap. Get
tail
on your
that you
phone.
can keep in the Gulf of Mexico? So the first 12 people that answer that correctly is going to get added to the Extreme Decalz Reel of Fortune for your chance to win this really cool prize package. So
Forgot to count.
make sure you get on Google and look that up, or if you know it off the top of your head, comment right now. Be sure to share to be eligible to win. So the last thing we want to do is revoke these awesome prizes because you didn't simply hit the share button.
Yeah.
Let's go to a
McCarthy would be
commercial
happy
break.
if you
When we
don't.
come back, we'll see how many people got that correctly.
Vagabond dreaming takes me through the night. Sipping whiskey by the river, living out of sight. 100 miles an hour in the fast lane. 100 miles an hour toward the light. Any moment the sun does come. 100 miles an hour in the fast lane. 100 miles an hour in the fast lane. 100 miles an hour till I'm done.
So we're still waiting on you fine folks to get this proper answer in. I think we at least have 2 so far.
No, we got everybody, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should have 10.
So I was right. I said at least.
Oh, it's supposed to be 12.
All right, Captain Jacob. So this is the Reel of Fortune. We have 12 names coming up here shortly. Each one of those names is going to be tied in with one of these sponsors. And as you spin this, and don't do it lightly, that person's going to win.
Can my name go up?
No.
Sir.
It's worth a try.
Wait, what was the answer?
Oh, yeah. You guys wanted to know the answer?
I still have 11 people. Hold on. 1, 2, 3,
Oh,
4, 5,
oh,
6, 7,
almost
8,
have the
9,
answer.
10. I have 11.
Jacob, go ahead and give him the answer. What is it?
18 inches.
18 inches.
inches.
It's got to be pretty decent size. We want all them
So
mamas.
if we don't have the 12th person on here, ugh.
What's the chances of somebody not getting it? So if it lands on, what is it? No, if it lands on Extreme Decalz, then we'll spin again.
All right.
Oh, Bree's correcting you, John.
You're going to make me double count?
All right.
Ready to spin this puppy.
John's a little on the blind side, not blonde side. Well, maybe he is,
I'm a
but
little
he's on the
slow
bald
sometimes.
side.
Leave me
Yeah,
alone.
we can't.
On the bald blonder side, can't read, so we'll have him just in a sec. So when you spin this, what sponsor are you going to pick to win it?
What's your guys' guess here?
You know, if we want to be honest,
Bubba?
oh, Bubba.
I'm going with marker 48.
Yeah?
Yep. I think 48's going to get it.
I hope not.
There's our last one right there.
Alrighty.
All right. All right, guys, we're ready.
All right, now we are ready. Give her a heck of a spin there,
Ready?
Captain.
3,
Spin it.
2.
There it
Good
is.
spin.
I'm on marker 48. You done passed me.
We'll call that Florida Redfish. What do you guys think? Yeah.
Yeah.
that's close to his batteries. Redfish here.
No.
I say Florida Redfish
Get the
series.
tape measure. It's Florida Redfish series.
Technically
It's
speaking,
kind of in the middle.
it is dead center of that.
That's about
pretty
as
close.
close to the middle. All right. Well, it's still two great companies right there to be in the middle of.
It is, though.
Spin it again, Jacob.
Need to confirm marker 48.
Oh, Ayinde
That is
Matthews State
clearly State
Farm. So
Yep,
let's
that
see.
is clearly State Farm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Who do we got? Who do we got?
Can you read my writing?
Mad Mosquito.
Mad Mosquito.
Mad Mosquito Outdoors. You just won the Maddox prize package along with Power Pull Buff.
Much
and
appreciated,
the
y'all.
Bajillo coffee mugs. Oh. Hold on. Important news
Oh.
from Jade Perry coming in live.
Wait.
So Jade Perry is reporting that Jacob is going to get Fish Talk Live a gravel pile sponsor. I don't know if y'all are friends with Jade. Or,
Yep, the same
Jacob.
pile of gravel every day,
He hosts- Have you taken a break ever?
every other day.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Alrighty, everyone. Captain Jacob Imhoff from Ozello Fish Company. Thank you for joining us
Said I'm
tonight.
off.
Hey,
Jack.
we skipped that part.
Jack Imhoff. Jack Imhoff.
I'll see you guys next week.
Is it next week or the week after?
You gotta see us
next-
next week. We're doing freshwater with Gene next week.
Oh, that's right. Yep, we're gonna be talking about freshwater species.
I
with
gave him
Captain
a couple
Gene
of
Miller.
baits strictly for freshwater, so we'll see how Boogeyman Lures does for us.
Boogerman?
Ooh, Boogeyman.
Boogerman Lures on Fish Talk Live next week with Captain Gene Miller talking about freshwater species. I think the secret question should be how many freshwater species can you catch in Citrus County?
Oh,
Be a good one.
there's a few.
But
There's a few.
before we get into that, thank you all very much for watching another episode of Fish Talk Live. Thank you to John, Brianna for killing it as always over there. Captain Jacob, Captain Billy, Captain Mario, who is not able to be with us tonight. We hope you feel better, my friend. Of course, our amazing sponsors.
All of you.
You know, we couldn't do it without everyone. So we will, that being said, we'll see you all next Tuesday.
Thank you, guys.